There's a ritual you know by heart. Late evening, laptop open, the job board glowing in front of you. You polish the resume one more time, swap a verb, tighten a line, mirror the keywords like the guides taught you. You write a cover letter that sounds eager but not desperate, confident but not cocky, human but not too human. You hit submit and you wait. Everyone agrees on what this ritual means. It means you're doing the work. The market is a machine. Effort goes in, interviews come out. Apply widely, follow up politely, stay persistent. Sooner or later, a door opens. Because that's the deal. And when nothing comes back, no call, no email, not even a rejection, the verdict writes itself. The problem must be you. And you believe it. That's the quiet part nobody talks about. Somewhere around the 50th application, the doubt stops being about the resume and starts being about you. Maybe your degree was the wrong one. Maybe you interview badly. Maybe everyone else knows something you don't. You're not lazy. You're up at midnight rewriting bullet points for free. But silence has a way of sounding like judgment. And after months of it, you start hearing a verdict no one actually issued. Here's what you were never told to check. Whether the doors you're knocking on lead anywhere at all, because a growing number of them don't. They're painted on the wall. And if that's true, the whole story flips. You're not failing an audition. There is no audition. You're not being rejected. You're being collected. It didn't used to work this way. Under the old contract, posting a job cost real money. A company paid for lines in the Sunday paper, paid a recruiter's fee, paid in the hours of a manager sitting at a desk, reading applications one by one. Because posting was expensive, a posting meant something. There was a hole in the team, a budget with a name missing, a boss who needed the seat filled by spring. You applied, a person read it, and even a rejection letter was a kind of receipt, proof that a real decision had been made about a real job. The signal was honest because the signal was costly. That was the handshake underneath the entire system. Your effort would only be asked for when something real was waiting on the other side. Then the price of asking fell to zero, and everything downstream quietly broke. It began with something boring, convenience. Online boards made listings cheap, then basically free, and free things don't get taken down. Companies learned to leave roles posted permanently, evergreen listings, so that whenever a real need finally appeared, a warm pool of resumes was already waiting in the drawer. Your application stopped being an answer to an opening. It became inventory for a maybe. Then companies noticed what a wall of open roles could do for them. A careers page full of openings is advertising. It tells investors the company is growing. It tells rivals the company is winning. It tells the exhausted people inside the building that help is on the way, even when there is no budget for help at all. At that point, the posting isn't recruiting anymore. It's public relations, wearing recruiting's clothes. Then the theater got official. Some roles are decided before they're ever posted, promised to an insider, or shaped around one specific candidate the company already picked. The listing goes up because a policy says it must. The interviews happen because the file needs interviews in it. And sometimes you are sitting in one of those chairs, rehearsed, hopeful, performing, for an outcome that was settled before you walked in. And now, the loop has closed. Software writes the posting. Software screens the response. Software sends the rejection when anything gets sent at all. Ask the people running this machine, anonymously, so they'll actually answer, and the confessions pour out. 45% of HR professionals admit they post jobs with no immediate plan to hire anyone. Roughly 7 in 10 admit to closing a search and simply ghosting every applicant in it. Meanwhile, you're being told to hand-tailor every application, to be authentic, to stand out. For a reader who increasingly does not exist. Now, in fairness, not every stale listing is a lie. Budgets freeze mid-search. Priorities shift between the posting and the offer. And if you run a company, keeping a pipeline of candidates warm isn't evil. It's efficient. Because when a real need hits, speed matters. Some ghost jobs are just slow bureaucracy with decent intentions. But that's exactly the trap. From your side of the screen, the honest ghost and the dishonest ghost look identical. And the cost of telling them apart lands entirely on the person with the least information and the most at stake. You. So picture yourself last Tuesday, 11 at night. Fourth rewrite of the same paragraph, wondering whether the word passionate sounds too eager for a listing that has been up for 90 days. 90 days. Think about what a real vacancy does inside a company. Work piles up. A team starts drowning. Managers get desperate because genuine openings create genuine pain, and pain creates urgency. A posting that sits for 3 months without urgency is telling you exactly what it is. You just weren't taught to listen. And this is where the question you've been quietly asking yourself falls apart. The real question isn't why you're not getting hired. The real question is whether there was ever a job to get. Rejection would mean someone weighed you and chose someone else. That is not what's happening. You're being collected, filed into a database, counted in a pipeline, stored for a future no one has scheduled. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. The system works better this way. The company gets free market data. Who's available, at what price, how desperate. The job board gets traffic. The software vendors get their subscriptions. Every player in the machine gets paid by your hope except the person supplying it. Your unanswered application isn't a failure of the system. In a very real sense, it is the product. Some people will tell you to fight back, check posting dates, message employees directly, treat every listing as guilty until proven real. And sure, that helps at the margins. But notice what it doesn't change. The asymmetry. They post for free. You pay in hours and confidence, in the slow erosion that comes from performing for an empty room. You were never being rejected, you were being collected. Which leaves the one question nobody running those listings once asked out loud. If the market has learned it can harvest hope for free, what happens when an entire generation figures that out and stops offering any?